Welcome to Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews. Don't forget to join us on our Patreon page. Visit our partner pureatbowling.com and use the special code TAMER when making a purchase to be entered into a monthly drawing. Today we've got the new Storm AstroPhysiX. We are testing it on a 40-foot medium house shot and a 35-foot Kegel Boardwalk pattern. First impressions, the AstroPhysiX looks great, it rolls great. I'm very impressed instantly. Storm's going to sell a ton of these. For value, I'm giving it an A. This pearl asymmetric ball deserves very high marks for value. It's going to be versatile with that medium R2S cover and a strong core. Overall, I gave the AstroPhysiX an A on house shot, B on sport shot. Not an unexpected follow-up adding a pearl asym into Storm's premier line. Instantly, the AstroPhysiX is impressive. This follows a similarly successful formula of the Code Black. Put a moderately strong asym core inside of a medium strength pearl cover and you get a clean look with strong backend. But not just strong backend, but one that really punches hard with the strength of a big asym core. For me, I struck every ball with the AstroPhysiX. This was one of the most comfortable reactions I've thrown, right up there with the Black Widow Pink in terms of just getting up there, getting it to the spot, and watching it drive through the pins shot after shot. It's not exactly skid flip like the Code Black was for me, but definitely makes a strong move. It just seemed to have the ideal motion wherever I put it. I got it out to the friction and it stood up and barreled through the 8-9, pulled the break point in a little bit and it still went through the 8-9. Even when I stood up on some shots, I was able to take out the 7. This is a very different formula than the Physics that uses a very strong cover, which makes it much slower overall to friction and way more aggressive in terms of oil handling. John's our latest staff tester and he liked the AstroPhysiX as much as I did. He obviously has a higher speed and rev rate. With that, using the third or fourth arrow, there was plenty of room. The ball seemed very forgiving and just funneled itself into a strong position to carry. From out to the friction, it generates lots of angle and makes it back. From in, it settles and hits heavy. There were several light hits that carried off the wall or had huge messengers. I think, in all the test shots, he left maybe 2 10 pins and a 7 pin. It was just really easy to toss on this house shot. Next up is Bryan, and my initial expectation was that Bryan would see as good a look as we did. Overall, he did have a pretty good look. The AstroPhysiX was long and angular, but did set a bit more obviously for Bryan as an asym, and that meant that entry to the pocket varied a bit. Nevertheless, carry was pretty good, if not a bit less than mine and John's. The setting of the core seemed to cause a bit more deflection through the pins, and the best look as to make sure he bounced it into the friction a little early to get drive. Misses in at the break point or getting it out too far down lane, caught too much oil, risking bucket type leaves. For the sport shot, we tested on 35-foot Kegel Boardwalk pattern. I would never use a shiny piece on a fresh sport pattern, but did want to at least get a read of how the ball rolls on sport patterns where the friction is at the end of the pattern versus the side. Honestly, from what I saw, this looks like it could be a very good option when sport patterns break down or put surface on it for fresh patterns. Given how good it looks with shine, I'd probably leave it alone and take advantage of its strengths. John is next, and you could see how much angle the ball can generate. It may not be the traditional short pattern line, but it is broken down a touch, and he was comfortable throwing it from deep. As you can still see, there's some wiggle as it's still a flat pattern. Nevertheless, it gives you a chance to see the motion off the friction, which is very aggressive. Finally, Bryan's up, and here he felt fairly comfortable on this pattern with the AstroPhysiX. Since it has an aggressive downlane motion, he was able to take advantage of that to get nice drive to the pocket. Final thoughts, I sometimes worry that using a medium cover on a high-end ball defeats the purpose, but as we've seen before, Storm does this to very successful effect. The R2S cover is long and strong and added to the asym core, making the AstroPhysiX pretty versatile. It does make it less effective on the heaviest oil patterns, but it seems we bowlers rarely get to see that. So making a high-end ball more usable adds to its bang for the buck. It's not as flippy as, say, the Code Black, but plenty angular to satisfy those who loved it. It's also more responsive and a step down from the Halo Pearl to be a complement rather than cannibalize it. Honestly, the AstroPhysiX is going to be one of the top Pro ASIM offerings on the market.
I need to tell you to watch Tamer Bowling Ball.